Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to today's NASCAR Cam video teleconference in advance of Sunday's AAA 400 at Dover International Speedway. Our guest today is Denny Hamlin, driver of the number 11 FedEx Toyota in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Denny joins us from the NASCAR Media Group studio at the NASCAR Hall of Fame in Charlotte. Denny, who is 12th in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series point standings, has finished in the top 10 in 2 of the last 3 races at Dover International Speedway, which is the site of Sunday's AAA 400. And our opening question today comes from Twitter, and it comes from Jamie in Olive Branch, Mississippi. And Denny, since you are sitting 12th in points, 66 points behind, are you and Mike Ford going to take more chances in these last 8 races?
Yeah, definitely. I believe so. When you have the pressure of winning a championship, a lot goes into that. You're constantly thinking about not making mistakes and where do you want to finish this particular race. And last year we executed to where we would run 5th. We wanted to run 6th, 7th in certain races. Well, in the position I'm in at this point, we're going out there and we're trying to win, and that's what we need to do to get back on track for 2012. Is to win a few races before the season is over. And I feel like a no points pressure situation is just what we need.
Thank you, Denny. And we will now go to the media today for questions for our guest, Denny Hamlin.
Thank you. The floor is now open for questions. If you do have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad at this time. If at any time your question has been answered, you can remove yourself from the queue by pressing 1. And if you are using a speakerphone, we ask that while posing your question, you pick up your handset to provide favorable sound quality. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you do have a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad at this time. Our first question is from Bob Pockris of SceneDaily.com. Please state your question.
Yeah, Denny, a couple of weeks ago after he won at Chicago, Tony Stewart talked a little bit about, guys, there's a whole lot of respect out there right now. And Newman kind of said the same thing after the race last week. I assume that was from him trying to come back up through the field. I was curious, how have you found the racing lately? And, have you seen any sort of change?
Well, I would agree. I think that the respect and gentleman's factor that we have out on the racetrack is kind of gone out the window. And a lot of it is just we know with these fuel mileage races that we're having, these tires that are not falling off, that you can't be patient anymore like you used to. You've got to go as hard as you can each and every lap, especially 2 to 3 laps after a restart, because you know that you're not going to do much passing after that. So, for us, I think that's why everyone's intensity level has been ramped up. I think some people are eliminated as far as points are concerned. So from the chase, and so their intensity is being ramped up, and so it's kind of a conglomerate of all those different things that it's making the racing like it is on the restarts now.
So, are guys now apologizing more afterward in the motorhome lot, or or trying to talk through it, or just kind of something that's not talked about, and you just kind of know that that's the way the deal is now?
There's very few apologies that come in this garage anymore. If you get one, it's the guy must have really made a huge mistake. But I think that it used to be guys would get into you, and then you'd get a text message from them or a voicemail from them the following day saying, sorry about that, didn't mean to do that. Now it's just like guys just think that it's the way it is. And so now we see it's becoming more common, and guys are just accepting it.
Thank you.
The next question is from Brad Gilley of Performance Racing. Please state your question.
Hey, Denny, thanks for taking the time today. And I guess to put it in simplest terms, can you still win the championship where you are right now? And if so, what's going to happen? Are some other teams going to have a couple of bad weeks like you guys did? Or could you guys go out there and put together 8 good races and really just work your way back up?
Well, it's possible, but we haven't done that yet this season, so it would be a first for us. The run we had going into the chase where we had 3 consecutive top 10s, that was the best that we had ran 3 consecutive weeks throughout our entire season. So for us to ask to do it 8 weeks in a row and then move those top 10s to top 5s would be very, very tough to do. So is it possible? Yes. Is it likely? No. So that's why we're going out there, and each week now just go out there and have fun and just try to worry about winning a race before the season's over with.
It used to be that it was real easy to kind of get the ship pointed in the wrong direction, but real hard to turn it back around in the right direction. But, I guess what we've seen with Tony here recently, where he was counting himself out of the chase, and all of a sudden he's had, 4 straight good runs and is the points leader, it seems like they almost turned it around instantly. Is it possible to turn it around that quick now?
Well, I think that any small change that you make with your race team that improves it is magnified because the cars are so even now. If you gain a half of a tenth a lap better, you make your race cars, that's 20 positions, it seems like, each and every week. So I think that, if like Tony's team found something 4 or 5 weeks ago, it's helped them at all these different racetracks, and we see the results because of it. But they're winning at different racetracks, and so you can't really pinpoint to one thing. I think that they're just riding that momentum wave right now.
Thanks a lot. Good luck this weekend.
Thank you.
The next question comes from Jeff Hood of RacingToday.com. Please state your question.
Hey, Denny, this is the 5th consecutive season where the driver that finished second in the final standings the previous year has struggled in the chase. When you consider that the runner-up in the chase should probably come back the following season and be one of the favorites to win it all, why do you think this pattern has developed over the last few years?
It's tough for me to say because I think everyone's reason for not running as competitive the following year is different. But for us, we've just honestly been struck by a lot of bad luck. I mean, we've ran out of fuel, we've gotten in wrecks, we've cut tires, things like that. Just we've blown engines, we've had mechanical parts that's failed. We've had so many different things that's bitten us this year. I can't pinpoint one reason why those things have happened, and so I don't know why. I personally think it's more coincidence than anything, but it's just, we're just kind of falling into that trend at this point. But we're trying to turn that around and trying to figure out a way to get back to the top 5 in points. And if we can do that, we're going to be bucking the trend.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next question is from Tom Bowles of FrontStretch.com. Please state your question.
Hey, Denny. You obviously had a tough break, at New Hampshire running out of fuel, a decision that comes in part from, the guy on top of the pit box. I was just wondering how you would characterize your relationship, with Mike Ford right now and how it's handled this year of ups and downs. And also, what's the one thing that you guys really need to improve on in the last 8 races, the communication between each other in order to be, more competitive and be up there contending for wins?
Well, I mean, we all know this is a performance business, and obviously, you've got to be competitive and contend for race wins to everyone feel good about their job. And I feel like that Mike is the guy for me. I feel like he's done a great job. He won me 8 races last year. Some of the things that we've had go wrong this year are crew chief related. Some of them are not. Most of them are not. Some of them are driver related. So it weighs all of on our shoulders equally, and I feel like he's kind of received a bit of a bad rap because of that. But I feel like he's the reason, kind of the backbone of this race team. And obviously, if you made a change, it would take a long time to get back to where I feel like we're capable of running at this point right now. So I think at times during the season we've gotten off track between the two of us. And I feel like these last 4 or 5 weeks, the communication's been better. And I feel like we were heading in the right direction. We've just had some things go wrong these first couple chase races that makes it look worse than it really is.
Thank you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to ask a question, please press star 1 on your telephone keypad at this time. The next question is from Dwight Drum of Racetake.com. Please state your question.
Thank you. Denny, experience counts in many ways. How does your past chase history help your mindset now?
Well, I think that last year I was under quite a bit of pressure. With expectations comes a lot of pressure, and being a championship favorite obviously weighs very, very heavy on your shoulders to live up to those expectations. This year we came into the chase as an underdog. We're still obviously very much an underdog. So my job out to do these next 8 races is to go have fun and try to win races. And I want to end on a good note and be charging towards the front of the championship point battle by the end of the year. Whether we're going to get there or not, I don't know. Maybe there's just not enough races for us. But if there's not, at least we want to be heading in the right direction into 2012.
Are there wrong ways to approach the chase, do you think?
Well, I mean, there's right and wrong ways to do it. I think that everyone has a different approach to how they run the chase. I think that last year I had more of a conservative approach of trying a specific position I wanted to finish at each and every race, and whether we could get to that goal or not. But it works different for everyone, and that particular strategy worked great for me last year up until the second to last race, and obviously we ran out of fuel and things changed. So you got to alter your strategy depending on where you're at in the points.
Thank you, Denny. Good luck.
Mm-hmm.
The next question is from Godwin Kelly of the Daytona Beach News Journal. Please state your question.
Hey, Danny, it seems like dead weight is losing dead weight is a way to improve on performance in the chase. Do you have any dead weight?
I don't know. It's tough to say. I mean, I wish there was an anchor I could throw out and get rid of it. But it seems like we've just got something attached to us each and every week that hampers us from getting the finishes that we want. And so for me, I wish I could pinpoint that one thing that we need to improve on. But obviously, Tony and those guys have figured it out.
On a serious note, have you had in your career, have you ever had a year like this where the gremlins just keep popping out at you and bad luck here and there and that kind of thing?
Honestly, I've never had a year like this year, not even on the local short track level. I've always won races, always competed for a championship just about every year that I've been in one division or another. So no, I've never gone through a year like this before. And honestly, hopefully it's a character builder for myself and the race team to kind of get back to reality of how tough this business is. And so, we know that what we're capable of. And hopefully this is just a year where we kind of reset and go on to next year and get back to our form of 2010.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, to ask a question, please press *1 on your telephone keypad at this time. The next question is from Jordan Bianchi of TheRacingGeek.com. Please state your question.
I was wondering if you could elaborate, Denny, on your relationship with Mike for a little bit. And has there been some times this year where you've kind of questioned the direction of the team and maybe that a change was needed?
You always have thoughts about what you need to do to improve. And like I said before, there's been weeks where I can put some of the responsibility on Mike. There's been some weeks that it ultimately goes on my shoulders. And there's some weeks where it's things back at the shop that need to be improved on. So until we have one specific thing that we need to work on and can identify as a problem, I can't see changing much. But I feel like we have a good group of guys. I can win a championship with Mike. I really and truly do believe that. But we just got to get our ship righted. It seems like our communication at some point in the year got stale. I felt like we've turned that around this last month or so. And we had 3 good finishes going into the chase. And of course, we have flat tires and a loose wheel the first chase race. That's stuff that Mike can't help. He can't help those problems that we have. Loudon, New Hampshire, the fuel mileage. It's 50-50. It's one of those things where maybe I used up too much gas, maybe it was too risky of a call, but either way, it weighs on us equally when we don't run well. So I'm not going to completely throw him under the bus.
Thank you, Denny. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I return the floor to NASCAR's Ashley Jones.
Thank you, and I do appreciate everyone joining us today for talking with Denny Hamlin. And Denny, best of luck this weekend in Dover.
Thank you very much.